Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm not just saying this because I was always above the description, the title of this post. Quite the contrary. And I guess some of the things that I may say may come off as harsh, but it's real, and I don't apologize. You may have children right now. You may have a boy. He may be 6 years old, 8, 13, whatever. Very quickly do the years go by, and these kids, these boys, they become adults. You could put quotations around that if you please. But they become adults, and old habits do die hard. And the things that you try to excuse them for when they're kids, they become accustomed to that very treatment, and that's what they expect. And they try to take that same sense of entitlement out into the real world. And they'll have their way with broken people and people with low self-esteem. And with others, with people who don't put up for that shit, put up with that shit, It's a variety of things that can happen. But ultimately, when you allow your sons to grow up to be straight bitches, there will be casualties. And yes, sometimes it can be literal casualties. But I think more popular than not, more often than not, what you will have is a bitch ass boy band who's sucking the life out of everyone around him because that person has not found out, what it takes to have some fucking integrity, to have a backbone, to stand for something that's greater than the individual. So that person never actually finds out that man, quotations, never actually finds out who he is. So he does things like waste time. It may be the time of, let's just say, women. Waste their fucking time, abuse them in various ways. It's not always physical. The physical, I'm starting to believe, I actually believe that the physical abuse isn't even the worst, but nope, just a catty ass boy man who never learned how to be a man. And I can't always blame the parents, but oftentimes you will find that the parents let so much shit go by when he was a boy. He's just a boy. He's just a kid. He don't know what the fuck he's doing. No, you cut that shit off as soon as fucking possible. I'm trying to tell you. That motherfucker will grow into a monster, and you'll have no one to blame but yourself. The thing is, you, as the parent, can find yourself in the same habitual state where you used to defend, where you become accustomed to defending the shit. Same shit that you've been defending since he was a boy. And you turn a blind eye to a lot of the shit that he does as a, once again, quotation marks, man. Because you make it okay for him to not take accountability, And what I've seen in my own life, it's quite sickening. I'll try not to use any names, but I'm pissed off right now. But what I'm seeing right now, it kind of reminds me of like a Friday the 13th or Jason Voorhees, where this man, he goes out, he does all this fucking killing. He still goes home, and his mom will protect him from everything. As my sweet fucking boy, he wouldn't hurt a fucking fly. That's that type of complex a lot of you people have. A lot of you, I don't want to just pick on women, but let's just say women. Because I think a great deal of the time where you don't have a father figure, and I would know you never had a father figure in your life, you can turn out to be that person. You can turn out to be a straight bitch. And I'm not saying that because women are bitches. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there was no cornerstone, no mentor to a masculine mentor to teach these men along. Now, granted, a lot of us turn out just fine. I'm a firm believer of that. But and then once again, I'm not above that because I have my own struggles, and I actually still do struggle. Again, not having any father figure of my own growing up, and I just try to learn on my own, and all the problems that I faced, and I have deep regret when it comes to how I carried some situations and how I treated people, specifically women. But you do live and you learn, and hopefully you do get the opportunity to repent. Some things still eat me up, still eat me alive, but I try to do my best to um, I try to do my best to put out my best case of character, so to speak. And it's obviously still a learning process, and at times I resort back to old habits, but I put that blame solely on myself and not really my upbringing, because that's just where I am in my life. I am 26 years old. No matter how young I may feel, or no matter how old I may feel, society sees me as a man, and I will conduct myself as such. If I don't like what I see, then it's in my best interest to not mirror that. And cognitive dissonance, man, it is poison. But I've seen it. On both sides. It's as far as the bitchy men go, the bitch ass men, soft ass motherfuckers, and I seen it, from their parents. It's cognitive dissonance, man. And people with cognitive dissonance who try to defend their son and shit like that, what they try to tell you, what they try to preach is, oh, just ignore it, oh, just ignore him, just do that. See, but the thing is, the person telling you to do that, they're not really involved. Like that person isn't the one getting bullied. That isn't the person getting the load of taking on the most of the load. It's easy to ignore something when it's not happening to you. Seriously. My best advice. Shit, I could go on and on, but you stop your son's poor habits at a young age, and you don't excuse shit, because they will come across people who are not having that shit, and your son could be gravely hurt, or your son can ruin some fucking lives. You handle that shit. Don't raise no bitches out here. We need true men to change this country, man. Or this world, man. I don't know where this world is headed, but seems like I'll be alive to see decades of change. And your sons represent the future generation. Don't be lazy. You weren't lazy when you fucked, and you made them. So you raise them up to the best of your ability. Make sure that they take accountability. And if you feel like you can't do it on your own, try to find some type of help in the form of a person, books, whatever the fuck it is, man. Something. Just ask questions, please. Please, I'm begging you, man, because just like a lot of old habits, they die hard, man. Most old habits, they die hard, and people can go their whole life without taking accountability, as so long as they have what they call home, their sweet mom to, sweep all that shit under the fucking rug. But you know what? There comes a time where that rug is going to be jerked from its place, and everything that you thought was buried comes to the surface, and there you have it. A bill that you can't pay for. But also you may find that the shit was never actually under a carpet at all, or it wasn't hidden very well, because if it'll find you in your sleep. Who you are, it just comes back around. People say, oh, I don't believe in karma, I don't believe in this, and I don't believe in that. That's bullshit if you don't believe in that, because I'm going to tell you, you are the culmination of what you feed yourself. It could be food, it could be books, it could be television, it could be your fucking attitude, but it does come back a fucking round. You don't want your kids to suffer. You don't want your boys to suffer. So you may not have all the answers, and I understand that nobody does. But goddamn it, you better go deep inside you and find the best version of you to take the fucking steering wheel. Don't take your hands off the fucking wheel when it comes to something that you fucking created. You created this boy, so you raise him to be a fucking man. You don't raise no fucking bitch. One of the best ways to raise a little bitch is to be passive. Take your hand off the fucking wheel and let this motherfucker grow up on his own. And just be a straight bitch, man. Abusing women, lying to women, stealing, doing little catty shit. This world needs a lot less of that, man. Or you may find that your son, your fucking baby boy, your pride and joy, will make the news with a fucking bullet in his head, because he can never quite think for himself. He can never quite make those right decisions. But I tell you what, mama ain't always going to be around. So then what? When every bridge is burned, but that rickety one that mama kept patching up along the way, what happens when that final bridge is gone and just a memory? What the fuck happens, huh? Tell me. Death, man. And that type of death can last decades. Such a tragedy, but for a lot of people, what a sight to see. People have been waiting for this for X amount of time. Oh, and shit. I'm about to be a father myself. I had to take my own advice. I may have a son. I want a girl, but I'm actually betting on that it's actually a boy. So I have to take that advice, man. Like, I've never been anybody's dad before, so I don't exactly know where to start. But I'm always going to reach deep within me to find the best version of me that I can, apply to my everyday situations as far as being a dad. And quite frankly, I should take that mindset into everything that I do, and not just be passive and let life pass me by and let people decide for me. I will not be clubbed into dank submission, as Charles Bukowski would say, as he said in a poem that I can't really remember the name of it. And I hate that I am that I've been redundant, but I don't know. I've been sitting on this for a while, so it's been kind of eating at me, And I think you as parents are just as guilty, if not even more guilty, to have raised a bitch. And you walk around and he looks and smell and talk like a fucking man, but he's a straight up fucking bitch. No matter how big he is, no matter how deep his voice is, no matter how much facial hair he has, still a fucking bitch. Can still be a fucking bitch, man. For real. It's poison. it's sickening. And hopefully, I envision a future where we can rise above that. But it's not gonna get anywhere with me just talking down and shit like that. I just wanted to bring uh, some attention to it because I see it in my everyday fucking life. My grandma, she raised a bitch of a boy. Her son is just a straight up bitch, and it's unfortunate, but it happens. The best thing I can do is not mirror it. I hate that I'm related to him and share the same last name as him, but it fucking happens. It's life, and people do have it much worse. So, for me, putting things in perspective is what I can do, and strategize. You always have the upper hand when you keep your mind on strategy. So don't give up. Don't give up, man. The longer you stay in the game, the better your options. So long as you keep progressing in one facet or another, man. You keep your head in the books and always work at something. Always work at crafting something. Don't compartmentalize. As far as separating, work from home and, whatever. Don't separate it, keep it as one thing, which is one thing that I'm learning, but it's actually a genius thing. And it's not genius because I said it or I made it up. I didn't make this up. People have been doing this since the beginning of time. It's part of mastery, Like tomorrow, I gotta wake up at, 2:45 in the morning to go to work. It's not really mandatory. Because, Saturday, I don't have to work on Saturday if I don't want to. But I want to. I'm not bothered by that, Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you just, yes, ma'am, stay positive. And I don't know if you were saying that to me or just in general, but thank you. Definitely stay positive. And once again, my main message is don't raise your son to be straight up bitches. It's okay to have feminine traits. It's okay to speak on your feelings and things like that. I don't believe in suppressing it. I don't believe in just burying it, hiding it for the sake of, I'm a man, I'm a manly man, this is how I got to carry things. No. If you feel like being open and honest is the way to go, I'm with you on that one, man. But just none of that deceptive shit. Of course, you don't have to tell people your every move, but don't be wasting motherfuckers' time. Don't be lying about little catty ass shit that you fucking know that you shouldn't be lying about. That's that little girl, that's that little recess elementary backpack school girl shit, man. Don't do shit like that, man. You're supposed to be a fucking grown ass man and, admitting faults and shit like that, man. Alright, man, that's it.